Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Good morning, dear friends. Today, again, we are back to do another chapter of the book Living Spring. And I think the question that we need to ask ourselves is, we hear about the word living spring. Beloved, are you and I a living spring for others to drink from, to take the good from? But let's start with today's chapter. It is chapter 51, Open Graves. And remember, it's the book Living Spring by the Spirit Emmanual through Chico Xavier. Open graves. Their throats are open graves, and it's Paul in Romans 3, verse 13. When talking about spirits who have strayed from the light, Paul says that their throats are like open graves. We can use this image to define many individuals when they abandon the true pathway of the gospel for the scabrous trail of egotism. They soon begin to reside in the dark empire of the South, forgetting the obligations that placed us in the divine kingdom of universality, and their throats really do become veritable open graves. They emit all the poisonous gall that flows from within them, like a vase of mug, and they begin to attune themselves exclusively to the problems that trouble their neighbors, friends, and loved ones. They see only the faults. They see only the faults, weak points, and unwholesome aspects of the people of goodwill who share in their evolutionary progress. They waste long commentaries in examining other people's ulcers, and instead of curing them, they waste precious time on long, inhuman conversations, belittling other people's intentions. They overburden the imagination with depressing images in the realm of suspicion and mental intemperance. All said, they complain about everything and everyone. They send out numbing emanations of ill will, spreading discouragement and distrust against the prosperity of sanctification wherever they go, wilting the flowers of hope and destroying the unripe fruit of charity. Such learners deeply unfortunate become of their own conduct, do in fact resemble open graves. They exhale the decay of poisons of death. Therefore, when you leave the pathway for the slippery terrain of undue lamentations and accusations, consider your spiritual steps and remember that our throat should be devoted to the good. For only then can the sublime words of the Lord be expressed through them. Again today, a reminder for us all to focus on what are we giving out. And words begin with a thought, because our thought process, if we think good thoughts, happy thoughts, thoughts of encouragement, thoughts of God, then we will speak. We will only see, we will only hear, we will only do the good. But today especially we are reminded to focus on our words. And beloved, if we see something that at first bring a feeling of discomfort in a way that we feel judgmental, let's take a minute and correct ourselves. Because it is not in not getting still some of the old feelings that we are reincarnated with, it is to correct them in the moment so that through that we can know ourselves. We get to know ourselves, and the more we do this, we correct our thought processes. The more that we recall the Spirit's teachings and focus on that and changing our feelings and changing our words into the good, that will become the program that we live with, which means that we will, it will be the first thing then that we do is not to judge, not to speak ill of others. And it starts with a thought. When we hear something, when we see something, maybe in your own family, in your own house, how can we see the good? And then we will go back to our Master Jesus. He is the example. He never corrected in a bad way. He was always loving and corrected in a spiritual way or give the lesson. Because the lessons are given, but what are you and I going to do about it? It is in the practice that it becomes the way of on how we live and how we are. Because it's only through the way that we speak, that we give, that it is in our actions that we can be the light, that we can do the good and focus on the good. Because it's in the way that we make people around us and everyone feel. And Emmanuel is talking about thoughts as well. So are we helping our neighbor carry their cross? Or are we emitting things that makes it harder for them on this road for their evolution? Because we have to give each other grace. Because if we want to receive grace still, we need to give each other grace. And we should remember that we are here together to work together. We can't work alone. And we together want positive people, people who want to work. And he's mentioning the self as well. So don't think about us and I. Let's think about how we can serve through our words today. So if we speak, let's visualize this light of love going with every word we admit today. And let it start with our thoughts. And when we speak, if you speak on the phone, if you write a message, see this, visualize this light of energy of love going with every word and every message, so that we can be mindful of our thoughts, of our words, and so that we don't give each other the gall and the grave, like Emmanuel is explaining. Thank you so much for your time today. Let's work together so that we can build together the good and focus on the good together. And again, thank you for Cardiac Radio for making it possible for all of us to nourish our souls 24 hours a day. If we have a thing that sometimes we need to focus on something good, we can just go to Cardiac Radio. And this is how blessed we are. Thank you so much. And until next week, God willing. Thank you. Bye-bye.